It's Wednesday, January 28th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Jacob Gramenya, behind the boards, wearing a
No way you'll get it.
jersey, Serie A team.
Nope.
German league team.
Serie B.
Serie B. Is it? Give me the first letter of the team name and see if I can get it.
I'll give you the city.
Okay.
B.
The city is B.
Mhm.
Bologna.
No.
All
Good
right.
guess though.
All
Body.
I would
My
have
family's from.
All right, would have never got that. Interesting. So if you're ever in that region, go around knocking on the door, say, "Have you seen a Jacob Gramenya?" No, don't do that. That's dangerous. I'm just kidding. Anyways, got a great show for you today. Excited to get into things. We got a great lineup of guests. Shout out to Jeff Feinberg, who bailed last minute. I don't know if it's because of my opinions around some certain things, but Jeff bailed. Apparently we're on the rocks. I thought he was a good friend. Apparently not anymore. But good news. Bad news is Jeff bailed. Good news is that we upgraded. Leading off the show, we have Mr. Peanutbettor. That's not the upgrade. But Ryan Noonan's going to come on, batting second here. We're going to talk about some PGA stuff. Then Hitman's going to come on, close out the show, talk some Super Bowl 60 bets. You guys know the drill when Hitman's on the show. You guys know the drill. Drop your comments, ask questions, because Hitman will be here to answer them. So if you have any questions before you head into Super Bowl 60, listen, don't wait until the day of to bet the game. Don't wait until the Thursday to bet the game. Bet the game now. Bet it now. You want to get in early. You want to get down early because these markets come super efficient pretty fast. So, you're going to want to be on top of things. Before we get into things for today, before we talk some NBA betting, before we talk about some trade deadline stuff with Mr. Peanutbettor, what an absolute disaster. What an absolute farce. What a mockery of the NFL, the NFL Hall of Fame committee made this past week, this past day. Yesterday, it comes out, Bill Belichick will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And what an absolute joke it is. And it's an embarrassment. The reasons why that are coming out are even more embarrassing. It's not because he's prancing around with a 26-year-old smoke show girlfriend who's running his show. You know what? Let him do his thing. That's fine. It's not because he was a horrible head coach over at UNC, refusing to play by the college football rules, thinking he can run the show like he did in the NFL 20 years ago. No, he can't do it anymore. Those aren't the reasons why he didn't get into the Hall of Fame as a first ballot. The reason why was because of Deflategate, which is not real, and Spygate, which he got punished for already. He is, without a doubt, the best head coach of all time. Without a doubt, there's no one who has had more accolades than him as a head coach. And we're not even talking about his contributions as a defensive coordinator. He is far and away the best head coach in NFL history. And for him to not be a first ballot Hall of Famer is an absolute atrocity. It's an absolute farce. It's a joke. Everyone on that committee should be fired. It's disgusting. It is disgusting because you know what? You're not punishing Bill Belichick by not making him a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to get in the Hall of Fame regardless. Who you're punishing is the next guy on the list. Because this year, someone's going to make it who doesn't deserve to be in. And then next year, Bill's going to bump someone else. And that person probably deserves it. And then they're going to bump someone else. And it's just a whole trickle-down effect. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I think it's pretty embarrassing stuff. Curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. I just honestly was shocked to see that. Fired me up to start the week. Anyways. Before we bring on Mr. Peanutbettor, just want to give a quick shout out to our Discord. If you're not in the Discord yet, you are missing out. We have over 1,700 members, and it is absolutely cooking. Every time I get this ad read, it just keeps growing. It's a place to chat during the games. Our creators are sharing banger bets, and so is our Hammer audience. Join us at discord.gg/hammer and see what you've been missing out on. I'm a little worked up here because you know what? Like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are not letting Bill Belichick into the Hall of Fame? Who do you think you are? What gave you the authority? These votes should be public. These voters should be publicly accosted for not allowing him to get in the Hall of Fame. It's a joke. Anyone with a brain knows it's a joke. Even our next guest, who doesn't have a brain, knows it's a joke. I don't know how much he knows about the NFL. Actually, I know he doesn't know much about the NFL because I talked to him earlier on in the year and about the Seahawks game, and he thought Geno Smith was still the quarterback. He's not an NFL guy though. He's a big college football brain, big basketball brain. He's a smart guy in those two things, but NFL doesn't really know much. But I'm still curious to get his opinion on it because I know he's a prediction market guy. Maybe he saw some predictions out there that were leading towards Bill Belichick not making the Hall of Fame this year. Anyways, you've seen him on Circle Back. He has a dog avatar on Twitter. Mike, a.k.a. Mr. Peanutbettor, how's it going, my friend?
Good. Despite not knowing who the quarterback was of the Seahawks to start the season, I find myself with a decent rooting position on the Seahawks. So, many would say there's not a bigger Seahawks fan than me right now.
There we go. Sam Darnold's USC. I know I could have converted you from your Ohio State roots.
Yeah, well, JSN, despite Flupp saying that he sucks, actually one of the best wide receivers in the league.
When did he say he sucks? I missed this one.
Early in the season.
Wow.
He didn't consider him a number one.
Wow. Number one, what, like the number one wide receiver in the league or a number one receiver on the team?
Like a number one. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, that's why he predicts and he doesn't bet. Anyways,
He trades.
He trades. Sorry. I thought he predicts. Speaking of trades, we're going to get into some trade deadline talk here for the NBA. But before we get into things, like, am I overreacting about this Bill Belichick situation? Do you even care? Is your only opinion on Bill Belichick rooted in the fact that he was just a terrible, terrible coach this year for UNC?
No, I assumed that there was something weird with, him coaching in college and people, if they thought that, like, I assumed that there was something I was missing almost, that there was a weirdness in the rules or something. The fact that he didn't get in on the first ballot is utterly insane. Although I will say it does give a little credence to everybody in the NFL, all you NFL fans. Oh, Nick Saban, he couldn't make it in the NFL, blah, blah, blah. That shows how much tougher it is to make it as a coach. But when the best coach of all time comes to the college, he also struggles. So just a little bit there. But, yeah, in general, it's insane. He's probably the best coach of all time. The fact he's not in first ballot is ridiculous. Yeah,
I think I agree with you that. It's like that's a crazy take because he is like far and away over the hill as a head coach. So I don't know how that's the conclusion you come to here. But I guess it's everything Ohio State, just like it's everything USC, and I can't blame you for that because I am the same way here. A lot of people making fun of you about your lampshade. What's going on back? Did you like give it a good squish out of the box before you put it up? Do we gotta send you a new lampshade?
It fell down yesterday, so
it fell
around to. I think it literally will pop out. It's not very expensive, so
okay. Someone Sprint Actual said put fixed lampshade on the whiteboard.
I'll put it in next. I'll put it up after this.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's get into things here. Let's talk a little bit about trades. We talked about flopped trades. We're not going to talk about those kinds. We're just going to talk about NBA trades. Jacob and I had a conversation when we came in today because Giannis, calf strain, sidelining him for a couple weeks here. Sounds like he wants to be traded. One, do you think the Milwaukee Bucks are in a position to sort of trade him? They're kind of out of contention right now. They're probably going to fall out of contention if he's hurt. Who are the teams to monitor? Where's the best fit for Giannis if he gets traded? And what could a Giannis trade look like?
First, the butchering of pronouncing his name. I can understand if you get Antetokounmpo wrong, but Giannis at the beginning of this, between that and calling him Shy the other day, calling him Shy Gilgeous-Alexander.
It's got to be on purpose.
These guys are NBA All-Stars,
Chubba Hubbard, he said, too, previously.
This is actually listen, I have a lot of Greek friends. Giannis is the correct pronunciation of his name.
Yeah, that's not what you just said, though.
What did I say?
You said Giannis.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is that better for you guys?
Yes, it is.
There we go.
But I'm of the opinion I really doubt he gets traded this season. It's going to be a major overhaul to your offense to try to instill him halfway through the year. Now this injury makes it even harder. The fact he's got such a big contract. If you're the Bucks, are you really getting the most for him right now as opposed to waiting till the offseason when you can get more bettors, more teams who are potentially upset with how their season finished? I don't see the trade happening this season. I think if you're Milwaukee, you're more going to wait until the dust settles a little bit, especially with these new apron rules. It really makes it harder to do a trade in season.
All right. So you don't think it's gonna happen? I was talking to Jacob. Like, hey, feels like the Raptors are up there as contenders to like be the leaders of Giannis. Feels like we're always in the mix.
If he gets traded, they're one of the teams in the mix, which is the popular way to report it. A team to monitor.
Team to monitor.
Yeah, I think if he does get traded, they're one of the teams to watch. People probably overdid the Masai relationship that they really kind of stressed in Toronto. I know for a while, but I think Toronto is probably one of the best options in terms of it's kind of unclear where they're going right now, and he provides kind of a clear path. And you guys have enough talent on the roster that they can, go around him pretty well. The issue is, I don't know what Toronto's offering mid-season to Milwaukee that I wouldn't at least wait till the offseason and see if I can get a better package, unless Scotty Barnes is in the deal, which I don't think Toronto's going to do. So if you're Milwaukee, I just don't think that Toronto's offering enough in season that I'd rush to make the deal. And if you're Toronto, you probably want to at least see how this team does before you do something major to the real core of your team.
All right. If you were to put a percentage on Giannis getting traded in season, Giannis getting traded in season, what would you put it at right now? Gun to your head.
30% probably. I would say maybe a little bit closer to 25. I think there's certainly still a chance. I don't see the suitor, but sometimes these guys come out of nowhere. It's a team you really didn't have a chance. If you're any team who's a semi-contender and you think you can get Giannis, he can stay with you at least for another 3-4 years. It makes sense to do it. So I don't think that it's like totally out of the question. It's just, to me, it probably is an off-season move.
All right. Makes perfect sense. Seems like an off-season move there for the Bucks. Flipping over to another player who's, I guess, not as widely suited in the trade market here. John Morant, who is also injured, dealing with a little bit of an elbow injury. Probably going to be out past this February 5th, trade deadline. Do the Grizzlies what are they? They're 18-26 right now. They're pretty far out of a playoff spot. Do they just become sellers now? And which teams do you can see emerging as a good landing spot for John Morant?
I'm not sure that anybody particularly wants John Morant at this point. He has a contract that is pretty expensive. He is someone who controls the ball. He doesn't play any defense. And I'm just not sure, if I am a team with any real ambitions, what Ja provides at this point that I feel good about. So not only has there been some off the court stuff that is worrisome, he also just is a really tough fit on the court. So to try to do it mid-season while he's injured, he does. There's always a chance he finds that kind of electric ability that he's had, but he really hasn't been that guy in a couple of years. And if I was, purging Memphis's roster, I would be trying to target some other guys along their roster that I think are more interesting. Jaren Jackson probably isn't available right now, but even guys like Santi Aldama would interest me more if I was a contender than John Morant right now.
All right. So you're just out on John Morant. Listen, I was my understanding that he was a real shooter and he had, really good shooting ability, but maybe not. That was a joke.
Not the only guy in Memphis that certainly is capable of varnishing weapons here.
All right. Let's move on to the Pistons, who have the best record right now in the East through February. Do you think they will finish the year as the best team, as that number one seed in the East, if things continue to go well for them right now? Do you see them as a team that could be adding at the trade deadline? What do you think they need to sort of thrust themselves into contenders this year?
I think right now they are very good as far as a regular season team. They have a great system in place. J.B. Bickerstaff's shown ability to consistently get his team ready to play, get his team, get guys that you wouldn't expect to defend at a pretty elite level. They've missed a lot of guys throughout the season, and it seems like they plug them in pretty, plug and play. To really take the next step and be a serious contender to win the East, to me, they have to get better as far as secondary scoring. Can Jalen Duren do that in a pinch? Yeah, but they really don't have another creator on the team other than Cade right now. So it's a lot of Cade Cunningham, and he's a very good player. I'm sure that he can go ahead and carry them some. But I think if they were really interested in making a run to get out of the East, they would try to use Tobias Harris, maybe a young guy. They have quite a few young guys that teams would be interested in. trying to package those together, maybe with a draft pick to get a real secondary scorer here.
All right. Quick want to give you a pat on the back here because I was just looking at some defensive player of the year. I forgot to do this off the top of the show when you first came on. You came on here last week. You talked about Wemby, defensive player of the year around plus 700. You got some tickets on that, hopefully, because right now on FanDuel, plus 195. So I just wanted to give you a little pat on the back for that one. How do you feel about that?
That's right. And FanDuel, for the most part, I think is best price in market there.
Mm-hmm.
So, a little plug there for FanDuel. If you're interested in getting Wemby, still underpriced in my opinion. I think it should come down even more from that. If you want to take it there.
All right. From one defensive player of the year mention, San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembanyama. Chet Holmgren is the odds-on favorite right now for OKC. Speaking of OKC, they haven't looked too good in their last couple of games. Well, relatively to what we've seen them start the year. We're talking about them potentially breaking the record for most wins in a regular season. Right now, Oklahoma City Thunder are priced at around plus 145 to win 65-plus games on FanDuel. Do you think they can do it? Would you bet it at current price?
I wouldn't bet they're over. I'm pretty bullish on them as a team overall. I like their title odds, but I don't. This team is pretty banged up. They are missing a lot of guys right now. It's a lot of Isaiah Joe, a lot of Kendrick Williams, and a couple of these guys are going to be out for the foreseeable future. So I don't think that they're a great team in terms of over on their regular season wins. I do like them come the postseason because I think that once they get healthy, they still are the same team that they've been. The issue is they just haven't been healthy in a while here, and there's really no one pushing them for that number one seed. So to me, if you're them, you rest guys up, let them get healthy. There's no need to kind of put your foot on the gas right now.
All right. Clippers have been red hot to start the year. 11-3 since January 1st. 6.5 wins back from the Lakers and the Suns for that top spot in the Pacific. Right now, 13-1 over at FanDuel. Did I sort of miss the boat with them to win the Pacific? Do you think they still have a chance to win the Pacific? Are they live? Do you like them at 13-1?
Yeah, I think that they're worth a flyer, or at least worth a look. I don't think you missed the boat because right now kind of circumstances have changed to make the odds even better for them. The top team in the division right now is Phoenix. Devin Booker is going to be out for a couple weeks. Golden State just lost Jimmy Butler. LA, the Lakers on the other side don't look great. So everything around them kind of is starting to come into place that they're going to be a serious contender for the division. Not only are they playing well, but the teams that above them that they kind of need to catch, all of them are going through their own types of struggles right now.
All right. Any final thoughts before you head out here on the trade deadline? We have it coming up on the 5th. Any teams that are not expected to be the buyers, like who do you think could make like a big splash that people won't expect at this trade deadline?
The Spurs. They right now are one of the best teams in the NBA. Everybody thinks that because Victor is so young, they have time, they can wait, and kind of drag this out. If I was relying on a 7'3" guy whose health might be, questionable as he gets later into his career, I would try to go right now. And he's good enough that I would go immediately. They have those 3 guards. I don't know which one of them becomes available, but I wouldn't be surprised if one does. In order to kind of upgrade on the wing or upgrade with a power forward type to pair alongside Victor.
All right, sounds perfect. Appreciate you joining the show today, Mr. Peanutbettor. I'll ask you about Ohio State in a couple weeks when we talk about some transfer portal stuff and some recruiting stuff. It seems like USC might have edged you out a little bit there, but obviously still more to come. Anyways, appreciate you joining the show, Mr. Oh, what? You want to get Oregon?
No, I'm going to go get that lamp fixed right now. So tell your commenters, don't worry.
All right, I'll make sure that they are not worried about it. Make sure you send us a picture of that on Twitter when you buy the new lamp so we can, have some real accountability here. And I cannot wait to throw a little bit of tip money on some Clippers.
Tip your delivery drivers.
I always tip delivery drivers. Anyways, appreciate you joining the show, Mr. Peanutbettor. Chat soon.
See ya.
Awesome stuff there. From Mike, as always. Slanderous stuff, though. Slanderous. Anywho.
What was slanderous about what he said?
Nothing. I tip my delivery drivers. So. Anyways, I do. This has gone too far. This has gone too far, I would say. I tip well, and it's all getting misconstrued. No, can't get into this now. Anyways, we got a guest coming on next, Ryan Noonan. Going to talk a little bit about the Farmers Insurance Home. Before we bring him on, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors over at FanDuel. Get in on the NBA action at any time with live betting on FanDuel for the first time until the final buzzers. FanDuel is home for live betting, so even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. Because FanDuel is giving customers $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/forward progress to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, affiliates of Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only. For $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is not withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 over 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right. Let's get into things here with our next guest. Excited to talk some golf, talk some Farmers. With Ryan, you've seen him on, he's the host, of the 4for4 Footballs Move the Line Sports Betting Podcast. Does betting and fantasy over at 4for4 Bets and at Betsperts Golf. Ryan, how's it going today?
Good to be with you guys. Jeff's a coward. He didn't want to come because he doesn't want to defend his Belichick should be left out takes, basically. Did you see him yesterday? He was like riding the line of like, I understand it, basically was his take. What a coward.
What a coward. No, I actually, you know what? I couldn't figure out why he bailed on us today, and you're coming in hot. I appreciate that. Coming in with great energy, calling out Jeff, rightfully so. One, I can't believe I missed that. Two, he is a coward. Well, how can you possibly believe that? How can you say that with your chest out and truly say that? I don't know about you. I don't know what your opinion is on Belichick here, but yeah, what a crazy thing to say.
I'm completely biased, so I will raise my hand. I'm a New Englander.
Okay,
that's my squad. So I am a little bit biased, and Jeff's still a little sour grapes. He remembers the Antonio Gates LT heyday of us stuffing him in the locker. We got to do it to him again a couple of weeks ago. So, still just a little bit of, crying over spilled milk stuff there. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, just doesn't want to face the music. He wants to just throw the takes out and bail on us. So, I'm happy to come in, call him out, and hopefully give some better Farmers takes too.
All right, I'm excited for that as well. Listen, sometimes you just got to let the little brother cry and complain, though, because, listen, you little brothered that team for many years. He can have his little heyday of victory lapping, I guess, or whatever, having a terrible take of Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know. You probably missed the opening of the show, but I was like going off about it for like solid 2 minutes.
Bonkers.
It's crazy.
Absolutely wild.
It's pretty embarrassing. As a fan of the sport, it's embarrassing. So, anyways, let's get into the Farmers. Torrey Pines, notoriously tough course, long, thick, rough. Seems like the type of player, based on my very little research, is like you need some good approach play here. What skills are you looking for? What skills do you prioritize when you're looking at players to place in top 10, top 20, or win this week?
It's a big track. So we do have another situation where we have 2 courses on Thursday and Friday. So we have the South course, which is where most of the rounds of 3 of the 4, if you make the cut, will be played. Previous U.S. Open track back in 2021, they kept some of those tee boxes. So we're stretched out to almost 7,800 from the tips. It does require a lot of length of the tee, or you can get by without being really long off the tee. It's just a really thin needle to thread finding fairways. But fairway hit rate here is like 51%. So it's one of these scenarios where everyone's missing fairways. So the length really helps be able to have a more lofted club into these really small greens. And the rough is thick. Weather doesn't look like it's going to be much of an issue. So just overall, at Betsperts Golf, we have a tool, the Rabbit Hole, which allows you to filter, basic, all the data that you can, but through the lens of whatever filtering you want. So looking at like how guys have performed on long and very long golf courses, how players have played in difficult and very difficult scoring conditions. Because again, you got that one round on the North course this week, you got to make your hay there. Like you need to basically fire between like 6 to 4 under, because you're not going to get a lot of birdie opportunities on the South course. So it is kind of just hold on. Par is a good score on a lot of those holes. So I want to see how you've played on long and tough courses. So really what you've done so far this year in the Sony, or you did last week at the Amex, it just holds no weight whatsoever. It's such a different test than what we're going to have this week.
All right. Seems like weather could be has played a role here in the past. I'm no weatherman here. Are you concerned at all about the weather forecast? Have you looked at it at all? How much do you look at it? I guess not that it's this early in the week, but have you looked at the weather and all? Is there anything crazy that we should expect?
Nothing crazy. We typically get sometimes we'll even get delays on sunny days because you get the marine layer coming in on San Diego there. It's beautiful. I don't know. It's aesthetically pleasing, but I don't think it's going to impact the golf very much at all. The winds look like they're not going to be problematic at any point. So really no weather situations that I think we need to kind of handicap or worry about impacting our handicap at all.
All right, the big headline coming into this week off the course is Brooks Koepka's return to the PGA Tour after some time away, air quotes. What's your read on his chance to at Torrey Pines here, and what's your opinion, I guess, on the PGA just sort of allowing him this path to return? I don't know what your opinion is on LIV and the whole debacle here, but do you have a strong opinion? Do you really care about this stuff? And what's your opinion on Brooks Koepka in his first tournament back this week?
I mean, look, if we're fans of the game, I would think we're better having everyone back together. Let's get everyone in the sandbox and play nicely again. So I like that they opened up a path for Brooks. It was very narrow path for the ones that they wanted to come back, which I thought was very interesting. But at the end of the day, I think they'll be open to some sort of merge of a Patrick Reed floating last week, hey, I don't have a LIV contract. I want to play all over the world. He's a little bit of, I think, a tougher sell to the, players to allow to come back. But overall, good to have Brooks back in terms of his chances this week. Theoretically, he's a really good fit for the course. Obviously, he's made his hay in U.S. Opens and PGA Championships. The problem and the tough thing to handicap with Brooks is in the past, he really never gave a rip about regular season events. He's got more major wins than standard PGA Tour starts or wins in his career. So, the number's big, but it's just something that I'm not super interested. I hope he plays really good golf. He has to kind of earn his way back into signatures in some other spots. So he's going to, I think, grind a little bit of a worker bee schedule here. So good to have him back. Don't think he's necessarily a viable option this week.
All right, 55-1 over at FanDuel, but we're passing on that. Let's look more towards the top of the board here. Xander is the betting favorite. Is at the top of the board right now, 14-1. Ludwig Eberg, Cam Young, Patrick Cantley, Siwoo Kim, all clustered close behind him at around 20-ish, 25-ish to 1. Is there any names that interest you on the top of the board that fit that sort of play style that you're looking for, who can play long off the tee, nail fairways? What do you think any of these guys interest you or entice you at the top of the board?
I'm in on Ludwig at the top of the board. I'm going to buy the dip a little bit. I bet him here last year at 11. Now we're getting 18, 19. I know he left last week, withdrew with an illness, but he's fine. I think standard little illness. I don't think it's anything long-term. So that's kind of probably baked in to the number here as well. But if you're just, again, making a golfer in a lab for Torrey Pines, it's Ludwig. He won here, technically. Last year they had to move the Genesis from Riviera because of the wildfires, and they ended up having to play that back at Torrey South, and he won that a couple weeks later. So we technically have even more Torrey South data last year. He won that event. So he's just long and straight off the tee, great long iron player, can navigate these POA greens, which can be bumpy in the afternoon. He's not a guy that I ever really want in a spot where I think we need to get into the low to mid 20s because he's, I think, just more of a grinder. This is a great spot for him. So again, when you think about length, places he showed up and played well since he's been on tour have been these really long, difficult golf courses. So love Ludwig, and I think it's a really nice price at 19.
All right, Ludwig 19-1 over at FanDuel, good price. I'm going to be clicking that when we get off. Sorry, 17-1 over at FanDuel. But you can find better. We always preach shopping around, by the way. Always shop around. 17-1 on FanDuel, but you can probably find 19-1s out there. A couple questions from the chat. I'm going to pitch to you here. Someone's asking me if I could ask you about Mav McNeely this week, and they said please. So I have to ask from the Italian Mamba. What's your opinion on Mav McNeely this week?
It's on my outright card as well. Actually, that event when we moved from to Riv to Torrey last year, the event that Ludwig won, he actually final two in the final group there was Scotty and Mav and Ludwig. So Mav played really well. California-born kid, very familiar with these POA greens. His other really good events last year, Memorial, which is a really big track, thick rough, got to play from the fairway as much as you can, or distance really helps. Solo third at Caves Valley for the BMW, another really long golf course. Scoring conditions were ramped up. They were difficult. He also, in a small sample, so I don't want to make much of it yet, his ball speed was up quite a bit at Walleye a couple weeks ago. So if there's something sticky there, and we've been in the lab this offseason, and Mav's going to add even more distance to his game, it's going to show up this week, and it's going to be additive to what he can do. He can get white hot with the putter. I think he can get like T30 is like plus 110 on Mav. I like the 35-1 for him to win. I think he's a great play.
All right, top plus 110 for the top 30 there, you said, and then 35-1 for him to win the tournament. Let's look towards the back of the board here. We kind of hovered towards the top. Give me like a deep cut. I want someone who's like 100-1, 150-1, who you want to throw a dart at, throw some pizza money at, to win the tournament, who can make some noise coming in on Sunday. If you were to circle one player at the back of the board, who would it be and why?
I don't think we're quite that deep, and I think he's moved a little bit.
That's okay.
But we're kind of in this range. It's probably a name that maybe casuals probably haven't heard a lot about because he's coming over from the DP World Tour. It's Rasmus Nergård Peterson. He actually won in early December DP World Tour's Australian Open. Rory was in that field. Joaquin Niemann, Minwoo Lee, Adam Scott, Siwoo, Cam Smith. It's a good field. He's a bomber. Can really, really move the ball when he wants to. Yet the putter's just kind of a problem. The ball striking stuff is fantastic. He kind of flies in the face of some, I think, fairly actionable trends here. We do have a pretty decent history of kind of having showed up here and had a little bit of success before you kind of break through a little bit. But I just kind of like the build of the player. Again, long courses. We haven't seen him a lot in the PGA Tour, but Oakmont for last year's U.S. Open, T12, he was 7th in strokes gained tee to green that week. Again, putter didn't get it done for him. But again, this is a spot where like par's a really good score. We don't need him to get white hot with the putter. We just kind of need him to ball strike the hell out of it like he typically does, hold on and make some pars and maybe, grind some stuff out and keep himself in the mix. So yeah, he's probably a, pretty big number plus money for a T40. And then I think you're seeing like 80, 85s for him to win. All
right. 80, 85-1, 70-1 over at FanDuel. These markets at FanDuel are getting hit into shape pretty fast here. Let's move on. Any other players that you like to win outright that we haven't touched on yet?
I like Keegan Bradley here. I think that, the price has kind of drifted a little bit, which is surprising to me. He's modeled really well for me. Mm-hmm. He's got 3 top 5 or better finishes in his past 8 starts at Farmers. It's a combination of total driving it's a weird stat. It's basically just, it takes your rank in driving distance and your rank in driving accuracy, creates a metric and basically, a little bit noisy, but I think directionally it's correct. You can use the rabbit hole at Betsperts Golf and kind of combine them. So I'm looking at like carry distance this week because you're not going to get a lot of run out. So if you benefit in your driving distance numbers from, roll out and bump, that's not going to matter. You need to be able to carry the ball. And you also need distance from the edge of the fairway, which is actually measures instead of like binary yes, no fairway hit, like how wayward were you, right? You can miss the fairway, but be in the first cut and still kind of be in play. Keegan's the only guy in the past calendar year that's top 40 in both carry distance and distance from the edge of the fairway with a minimum of 36 rounds played. High apex height too, which really is necessary to kind of hold the greens. He's drifted out to like 50, which makes absolutely zero sense to me, given his course history and his form. And I like Michael Thor Bjornsson quite a bit too. Thor hits it a mile, really good long iron player. People were on him a lot last week, which didn't make sense to me because I was like a less than driver wedge fest, and that's really not his game at all. He's bomb, long irons, and can get hot with the putter. So I like Thor. The number early was like at 60, which was a mistake. I think he probably still finds something around 6 or 50 or so. So hits it a mile. Hot take, he'll be in one of the final 2 groups on Sunday.
All right, love that hot take. Keegan Bradley and Thorbjorn Olesen. I'm definitely did I get that
Michael
right?
Thor Bjornsson, the different Thor.
Yeah. Different Thor.
Sorry.
No,
multiple Thors.
No,
yeah.
You're good. You're good. Different Thor. Michael Thor Bjornsson. Okay, there we go. I was like, oops, don't want to get that messed up. All right, there you go. Michael Thor Bjornsson. Wow, there's some great golf names here. Any other props we haven't come around to that we haven't mentioned yet? Anything like top 20, top 40, top 5, top 10?
Taylor Pendrith's interesting to me too. Pendrith's a good course fit. shout out to the Canuck. T30 like plus 125, which I think is a really nice number. Fits the course well. Played here 4 times or 5 times. 4 of those top 16 or better. So, you can get even better than the T30 at plus 125 if you just want to say, hey, he's done, 80% hit rate of T20. You get a real nice number there, probably plus 150 or so. I like Pendrith to win 45, 40 to 1 in that market. It's kind of my last of the outrights, but I think he's in the mix. JJ Spawn T30 is like, it's got a plus money in front of it. I think that's a good bet as well.
All right. JJ Spawn plus money, Taylor Penderson top 30 and outright as well. Before you head out here, I know you mentioned a hot take there, but do you have any other hot takes when it comes to the Farmer Insurance? So give me your hottest take coming out of this week where people are going to be like, wow, you nailed that one. Or just anything that's controversial. Give it to me.
Controversial, man, not a controversial guy.
Okay, how about this? What about just a controversial take on anything in general? It could be. I'll open the floor to you. It could be about anything you want, and I'll actually give you time here to think about it because there's a question in the chat that we can get to first while you kind of marinate on what's been at the top front of your mind that you think people would find controversial. Thoughts on Will Zalatoris following up his solid showing from last week with this week at Torrey?
Totally rooting for Zal. This is a great spot for him. This is a place where he's played pretty well historically. Crushed me, broke a lot of our hearts. I think Jeff was on it as well a couple of years ago when he lost to Luke List here in a playoff after kind of choking it away. I didn't click him, but I finishing positions, DFS, depending on what the ownership numbers start to come out with. I think he's going to be in the mix. Obviously, just want to see him healthy and playing really good golf. This is a great course fit for him as well. Similar to Ludwig, this is not a guy that we want on birdie tracks. It's a guy that we want to take when the scoring conditions are a little bit difficult. So pro Zal, but just didn't click, didn't make the card.
All right, hot take time. Jeff came in, tried to have a hot take on Twitter, like we mentioned off the top of the segment. Missed the boat by a country mile because that is not a hot take. That is a bad take. Clear difference there. Any hot take, controversial take that you want to share right now, right here, or you don't want to get in trouble?
No, I do. This shouldn't even be a hot take, and the betting markets would tell us that it's not necessarily a hot take. And I did already tell on myself earlier, which I think does, impact how listeners will hear the hot take. But the Patriots can win the Super Bowl. I know no one thinks that the Patriots can win the Super Bowl. They can actually win the Super Bowl. They've won Super Bowls at bigger odds than they currently are. It's just absolutely insane. I've never used the bookmark feature on Twitter before, and I was always just like, what the hell is the bookmark feature? Like, why would I use this? Jay, I was hammering the hell out of that thing on Sunday night. Everyone, like the Rams mid-game, Rams Seahawks, like this is the Super Bowl, and all the strength of schedule takes, and all of it is just, I can't wait. They can only play who's on the schedule. And let's be honest, they boat raced a bunch of those teams, right? Like the Broncos beat the Jets by 2 points. They needed like a miraculous comeback to beat the Giants. At the time, everyone thought it was a great win to go into Tampa Bay and win. They went to Buffalo and won. No one thought that Carolina was going to be a playoff team. They were. That game was over at the half. So, you can't argue the fact that they beat an insanely soft schedule. But, why are we pretending that they're also not a great defense? They played a bunch of great defenses. So when you want to recite Drake May's playoff stats to me, well, yeah, guess what? He played in a blizzard in the second half, and they played 3 of the other great defenses in the league, and now they're going to play the best one. So, I don't know. They can win the football game. Pat's money line. Drake May, playoff MVP. Give it to me. And, again, I'm going to be fairly insufferable next Sunday if the Patriots win. Being that guy, quote tweeting all the things that I bookmarked. So.
And honestly, rightfully so as you should. That's what the bookmark feature is for. It's just to retweet some old bad takes. That's also a great opinion there. That's what the bookmark feature is for. Anyways, appreciate that. Listen, as a fan, you're allowed to be insufferable. Everyone was praying on the Patriots' downfall for the last 2 years. They obviously didn't pray hard enough. So good luck in the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'll be clicking Pat's money line. I don't know if I have the gall to do it just yet. Maybe I feel like we might get a better number. That's honestly part of the reason why.
Totally agree. Seahawks are awesome, man. Yeah. I hate that they play. I was so cheering for the Rams so hard. I think we would have got a better watch too, right? Aesthetically pleasing of having a bunch of points and an over possible, and maybe we touch 50, but we're probably not getting.
Hey, don't sleep on my USC boy Sam Darnold. That's all I gotta say. Ryan, appreciate you joining the show. Appreciate the hot takes. You're way better than Jeff. We got to start canceling Jeff's bookings now and got to get you on more often. Appreciate you coming on the show. We'll chat soon.
Anytime. Thanks, guys.
Awesome stuff there from Ryan. First appearance on the Hammer Daily. Absolutely crushed it. Jeff has like a lot of Jeff before. Listen, my Rolodex for golf bettors was very, very slim, slowly expanding as we get more people to come on the show. Jeff is getting quickly demoted, very, very fast in the golf rankings here. If we're gonna want someone to come on and give terrible takes, we'll call Jeff and tell him to come on first, second. But yeah, when it comes to golf stuff, he's losing. He's losing a little bit. Anyways, our next guest coming on. We're going to bring him on in just a sec. Before we do that, we're going to play the Guess the Line.
Let's do it.
Do we have any NFL today?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Well, kind of. Not really.
All right.
Weird
Wait,
one.
What do you mean kind of, not really?
Well, it's a weird one, but it does involve the NFL. Here are the 3 lines to guess.
What does that say? How many average viewers?
So it'll be halftime show viewers.
Oh, my God.
So, but that is the second one on the
I have
list.
no context of what that would be.
You're going to have to do your best here. So we're going to start off with an easier one. Not easy, but like an easier one. First line to guess is Scotty Barnes, points, rebounds, and assists tonight as the Raptors host the Knicks.
My king, Scotty Barnes, has graduated to be a top player in the league this year.
I'd say so.
All right, I agree with you. Points, rebounds, and assists. Is he in like the lower 30s of like 34 and a half?
Lower.
Okay, lower. All right. Is he in the high 20s or mid 20s, like 25 and a half? Higher. Okay. The way you said lower on the 34 and a half makes me think that it was a lot lower. So it's going to be in the 20s, and I'm going to go with 28 and a half.
31 and a half.
Fuck.
Not quite. This one is a doozy.
All right.
Halftime viewers, live viewers for the Super Bowl halftime show featuring Bad Bunny.
I'm just going to give a terrible guess here because I have zero context of like viewership.
I mean, how many people watch the Super Bowl?
I have no idea.
How many people? You should have an idea.
Is this in North America? Is this across the world? Global.
You should have an idea.
Is there like a number? Is there a line out there right now on FanDuel on viewers?
Yes, I'm looking at the FanDuel line as we speak.
Okay. Let's go with 4 million.
Okay, Jason, you're this is the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they count viewers. I don't know how this stuff works.
You think 4 million people watch the Super Bowl?
No, I think more than 4 million people watch. Okay, I don't know.
I'm not going to count that guess because it's so far away from what it should be.
I actually don't know. 50 million.
Higher.
Okay, well, you're looking way higher. 100 million.
Higher.
Oh my God, I don't know. 150 million.
135.
Okay.
So I would say it should be wide knowledge the Super Bowl gets at least 100 million live viewers. So I'm a little perplexed by that one. 135.5 is the line on FanDuel. Since you thought it was 4, I'd run to the under on that one.
Yeah.
Jay.
I don't know. I don't look at viewership.
Last
That's
one,
crazy.
We're going Shohei Ohtani regular season home runs in the 2026 MLB season.
38 and a half.
Higher.
45 and a half.
Higher.
Whoa. 48 and a half?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
We got one. All right. There you go. 4 million. That is the worst guess.
That was a terrible guess. Listen,
in the history of the show.
I have zero context on how they how they count viewership, what viewership is. I don't know how it works. I don't know.
That was 4 million is crazy.
Yeah, well, it's not a real number. The amount of people that they have there, it's all made up. It's all made up anyways. Up next, we got our favorite prop bettor on this network. One of the best prop bettors I know. A fellow anti-dentite. Hey, man. How's it going, my friend?
What's going on? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. We've been having issues with the past few times, so.
Hopefully it's good to go. How was your little week off? How was your little vacation there?
It was good. I mean, anytime I'm away, I'm still on my phone nonstop, so I'm never really away. So, but it was nice. Played TPC Sawgrass.
Okay.
Played it like the pros do. So, yeah.
All right. Listen, you weren't on the show last week, but I sort of gave out in honor of you an anytime touchdown bet. And I feel like there was no one else I could give out than the guy we've been riding with the entire playoffs, Xavier Smith. I believe we are 0-3 on him to score a touchdown.
We're not 0-3. Yeah, go on.
We're 0-3 on him. So that's kind of like, I thought he was our guy, right? Come to learn this week, or this past week, you bet on the Rams +3. How does it feel to be betrayed by your guy, Xavier Smith, after he fumbled the punt, and losing the +3 like that?
Yeah, he sucks, man. That's why me and him were never meant to be. Ever since he didn't score that touchdown in the Thursday night game against Seattle when he was wide open. Yeah, I'm done with Xavier Smith. So,
all right, let's get into some props. A quick reminder: if anyone is interested in asking Hitman some questions, please feel free to do so in the chat. What are we going to do, Hitman, when it's the off season? Do you like have anything else to come on here to talk about? Maybe we'll do like World Cup or like Olympics, or
maybe like when the draft gets closer.
Okay,
some stuff with that, or like NFL season wins, something like that. But I don't originate nothing else. I mean, I bet other sports, but I'm just riding the coattails of other people, or I'm just doing some top-down stuff. So, yeah, there's not going to be much use for me.
All right, well, there's going to be some separation anxiety settling in for me when I'm missing that pretty mug on my screen once a week. Anyways, let's get into things here. Where's the best place to start in this game? I feel like it's with the Seahawks receivers, and I want to take a little bit of a look at some. Do they have these props open? No, they don't have them listed just yet. All right, I just want to talk about Jackson Smith and Jigba here. Lined pretty high at 93.5 receiving yards. He's like the go-to, the engine of this offense. I know I just had Ryan on talking about this New England defense. I think this New England defense is a little bit overrated. I like the matchup for the Seattle offense here. Do you think there's a world where we see Jackson Smith and Jigba sort of soar over this number of 93.5? Is it maybe like a little bit too low?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Seahawks just do such a good job of scheming him open that it's going to be really tough for like a Christian Gonzalez to just trail him the entire game and shut him down. I mean, look no further than what they do by putting him in the backfield and what they did at the end of the first half, which just kind of schemed him open. So I think that Kubiak does such a good job doing that it's hard for me to look at any like specific corner matchup and say like, oh, this guy's going to shut him down. I am curious what you thought of this. I didn't bet this, but another pro that I do some stuff with, he bet Christian Gonzalez 200-1 to win Super Bowl MVP. And his handicap was that Gonzalez they could maybe try to have him, that if he has a big game against JSN, it would take JSN having a really bad game. Gonzalez gets the credit for it. It's a low scoring game, and Gonzalez maybe gets an interception or something in a defensive struggle. What do you think of that at 200-1?
I think you're better off tipping your Uber driver with that kind of money, because Christian Gonzalez, his path to win at 200-1, he's got to have a score, and like the only score in the game.
I mean,
for Drake May to not win.
Here's what I'll say. Like, I don't know if it has value. Like, let's be honest. Like, most of these numbers don't have value. They're going to be very hard to find one or two good bets in a Super Bowl MVP pool. But should he really be the same odds as the Patriots kicker? should he really be the same odds as Jake? Should he be the same odds as Jake Bobo, a guy that's going to run 4 routes?
Yeah,
that's all. I could see it from that perspective. That I don't listen. The kicker bet and Jake Bobo bet are freaking terrible.
Yes,
but I'll say he should be better odds than them.
Okay, I agree with you that you should be better odds. I just still don't think either are a good bet. I know Travion Henderson played 4 snaps last week, but 150-1. Like, all you really need is a Stevenson injury, and Travion Henderson instantly thrusts towards the top of the board to win MVP, and he has the big play ability. That's someone who I would look at. I know
there's a lot of people that are asking for Henderson to play special teams if they're not going to use him much on offense, because He's a pretty good kick returner. I know he had a long kick return touchdown. I think his first touch in the preseason. So maybe there's a wrinkle, like just thinking out loud, like maybe do your homework to see if Henderson does play special teams this week or if they want to use him on kick returns.
Mm-hmm.
And that can maybe be an angle. But yeah, I don't know.
You
don't
like
think
Christian
I don't think it's going to win, but I do think 200-1 might be a little high.
Like, if I had to choose between Gonzalez and Henderson, I would take Henderson. But maybe
we know GRP is going to be on the kicker at 200-1. So would you rather be on the kicker or would you rather be on the best corner on the Patriots?
Yeah. All right. You like slightly convinced me. But
yeah, if you're looking to have fun, I'm probably not even betting it, and then I'll hate myself when it wins. But I thought it was an interesting handicap.
All right, it is an interesting, and I like that you came on here and you asked me my opinion. This is like the first time you've ever asked me my opinion on anything.
You provide a lot of value.
Very kind of you. Question from the chat here. Someone can't read that name. How is your Super Bowl betting volume compared to a typical week?
As far as like stuff that's widely available, it's less. Like just looking at the numbers right now from book to book on like a player's over under receiving yards or something. The lines are more efficient. Now where the more volume will come from is just having outs that inflate numbers or having outs that aren't used to putting up props. Like I think that Vegas has kind of died out as like the betting hotspot, but for Super Bowl, I think that Vegas is very valuable. There's a lot of places there that will actually take bets once it comes to Super Bowl props that won't take bets during the regular season props. And they tend to be a little bit off market and kind of like to deal their own numbers. And then you're going to get all these other shops and everything like PPH outs and stuff that like sometimes inflate numbers and you could get, especially closer to kickoff. So I find that my like it's the most individual bets that I'll have on a game, but a lot of it is just like $1,000 bets at one shop that has a certain line or something. So that's where I find most of my volume. I think that if you're just betting stuff, though, that's like widely available, like, hey, this is at FanDuel and other competitor legal books, like an over-under receiving prop or something, I tend to think that the lines are usually tighter, especially if the line's coming out 14 days early and people are betting and moving the numbers literally Sunday night or Monday morning, 13, 14 days before the game starts.
Anything you've bet so far that is like out there right now that we can talk about, or is there nothing that there's?
Nothing that I specifically want to give away just because I am waiting for more outs to open stuff up, especially in other places. But I'd say that I think that some stuff I might be looking closer towards post. I think if Drake May rushing yards, I think that's a prop that's going to keep inflating. And I could see myself being involved on an under. Right now it's at like, it's as high as 39.5 at some spots. And that was kind of my buy price on Drake May under when I bet him under 2 weeks ago against the Texans. So I think that that's a market to keep an eye on. And if you do like over, probably bet it now, but I think I probably would be more interested in the under once the game gets closer. I also think that Patriots passing stuff might be interesting towards some overs just because they've had two matchups in the last 2 weeks where there was basically like very little chance of success. And some of these passing numbers and receiving numbers are going to be deflated just because of what's happened the last 2 weeks. But let's face it, like the Houston game and that weather against that defense with a Houston quarterback that could not complete a forward pass, like it was never going to be a big passing game from the Patriots. And then plus last week, like we obviously know why they didn't throw the ball for like the last quarter and a half. So I think that some Patriots receiving overs or Drake May passing overs might be worth a consideration.
All right, interesting stuff there. I'm still anti these Patriots receivers, but the numbers do seem low at 43.5 for Diggs, 37.5 for Henry, 27.5 for Matt Collins.
Yeah, I mean, Diggs was one of the most efficient guys during the entire season, but he just wasn't running enough routes.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, he's been running a lot more routes, but he just is part of the reason. I tend to believe that part of the reason he's not having the big numbers is just because of the circumstances that they've been put in with the past few games, but we'll see.
All right. Any I guess we have you for a couple more minutes here. Any opinion on some novelty props? Have you looked into that prop market just yet? Are you ever like handicapping this stuff on your own, or do you only bet like novelty props based on information?
Well, like the stuff like the Gatorade, I get the wrong result. If you want to know what not to bet for the Gatorade, just ask me, because I am just off every single year. I never win on it ever.
Okay.
Who do you have? If you want to know what to bet on the Anthem, you could probably look towards me, but you probably won't get much money down in the year 2026 on that. But yeah, I think that one of the things that I really like to attack, and I think that people should look more towards, is the cross sport props. And what you'll often see with the cross sport is a line will move, like in an NBA versus NFL or something. Like the NBA line might move because of something, but the cross sport typically is a little bit later to move their lines, and you could find an edge that way. So I think that once we get closer to the game, that cross sport props are definitely something that you should look to attack, and you could probably find an edge in.
All right.
So that's one of my best pieces of advice I could give for Super Bowl props with the novelty stuff.
Before you head out here, and you're gonna come on again. I'm gonna force you to come on next week as lines get like a little bit more efficient, a little bit more sharper, so we can talk about what you've bet on.
Already. I'll have stronger opinions on stuff I've bet on, and All
right. Before we head out, I asked you for 2 anytime touchdown scorers at current odds right now, one for each team. Gun to your head. Who are they and why?
These really are gun to head. I mean, I looked at it and I really don't like
I will say that the market seems, based on the total, it seems a little bit more there's more hold than in a normal market. Maybe that'll change as we get closer to the date. So maybe wait to bet this stuff.
Well, there's also a lot of books that are going to be offering yes, no. Okay. Once we get to the Super Bowl, where like books that typically sometimes don't offer that will offer it for the Super Bowl. So I think that you could do a good job of line shopping based off that. If forced to look at something, I think that Austin Hooper maybe plus 850 could be one that I would just forced play look at. I think that the other one, and I'm going to cheat a little bit by not giving one, and like I'll give 2 guys on the same team, but I'd probably say Ramondre Stevenson.
Okay.
I don't know. Me personally, I kind of believe that what happened, I know there's a lot of people talking about last week, and they're saying like, oh, Ramondre had that insane snap share because of the weather conditions, and they just wanted to use him in that game script. I don't know. I kind of think that it was going to happen regardless, and that Ramondre's become the workhorse back for this team. So, forced play, I would say Ramondre and Austin Hooper, but probably wouldn't bet them, but if you want to have some fun.
Wow. All right. Ramondre and Austin Hooper. It's crazy you were a gym teacher, Hitman. You never follow the rules. And I'm sure your kids, whenever you are teaching them, they never followed the rules either. You just cannot follow the rules.
I was a really bad kid. Like I was in trouble. I was in trouble a lot in school, but never for anything like serious, never for anything like
just a little shit disturber.
But exactly, just stupid. I have some stories, man.
Okay,
just stuff.
We'll have to talk about that at a later date. Before you head out, some interesting stuff happening as we're live on air. It looks like Jim Schwartz is now out as the DC of the Browns. Seems like he's no longer the defensive coordinator there, which is a little shocking. What is like the most shocking thing you've seen come out of this head coaching cycle? Anything that surprised you, shocked you, hires you like, hires you didn't like? I mean, for me, instantly, hires I don't like. Brady for the Bills was kind of a head scratcher when you fire the head coach, and then you say Keon Coleman. Was the coach's decision to draft Keon Coleman? Then you bring in, you hire the OC who's part of that coaching staff. Anything you're looking towards in terms of head coaches that is like sort of a head scratcher for you?
I think that probably the best hire, obviously, I'd have to say is John Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Giants are going to be a sleeper as early as next year to maybe have a quick turnaround and compete to win that division. If you look at, Jackson Dart is promising. They're skill players. If Neighbors is back week 1, they're not bad. They're going to need some work on the offensive line, but they do have a franchise left tackle, and then they got defensive linemen as well. So, I could see a quick turnaround for the Giants. As far as like hires that were really surprising and I didn't like, I just think that hiring Mike McCarthy is like, you hired Mike Tomlin, but worse. Like it's the safest hire you could have possibly had. Like you're just guaranteeing yourself now that every year, instead of going 9-8, you're going to go 8-9. Or that's really how I view it. There's just no ceiling to it at all. And the funny thing is like Pittsburgh, they're so patient with their coaches. Like this might be a while. He could be there for like a few years, especially if they're just getting by with like these 8 and 9 seasons or something. Like, who knows? Maybe he ends up being there for like 5 years or something. So and then I don't know how much of this was just like a PR move, but like McCarthy saying like, I don't know why we wouldn't want Aaron Rodgers back. Of course, we're interested in Aaron Rodgers coming back. Like that, it's just ridiculous to me. They talk about a team that's just setting themselves up to be mediocre. That's the Steelers. So
you nailed it perfectly. It's like the most Steelers hire of them to hire McCarthy. I saw a great tweet. Forgot who tweeted it out. They deserve credit. I'm sure you saw it. There's like millions of impressions on it, but it's like them hiring McCarthy is the same as shitting your pants and changing your shirt. So I thought that gave me a good laugh. Anyways, hey man, appreciate you joining the show. Before I head out, I'm on the final season of Seinfeld. What episode should I look forward to the most in the final season?
I don't remember offhand which one, what episodes are in the final season.
Okay. I'm the most recent episode I watched is the Butter Shaver episode where Kramer
that's
shaves
a good
with
one.
butter.
You know what episode I liked a lot was and it doesn't get talked about much, the one where Kramer was thrown out of Paisanos and he was putting his shirt in the oven.
Yeah.
Like when that Italian guy just says like, when Kramer says like, you burnt the shirt and you overcooked it, and he was like, what the hell do I know about cooking the shirt? That was, I never watched TV, and I just started Sopranos.
Oh wow.
So I just got done with season 1.
All right.
So I'm into it. I'm into it. Have you watched it?
I haven't. I have not seen it. It's next on my list, though. It is next on my list.
I'm like 25 years late, especially as a New Jersey resident. But Jacob, keep going. It gets better.
Oh yeah, a lot better.
All right. Season 1 over.
Season 1's great, but it just keeps going.
Mom. Junior and Tony's mom just tried
I haven't seen it. This guy, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was just like, I haven't seen it yet.
Don't forget it, Chase.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Don't forget it.
No, I'm not. All right.
Memory of a goldfish.
All right. There we go. Be the goldfish. Ted Lasso. Good stuff. Anyways, hey man, appreciate you joining the show.
Later, guys.
Excited to talk to you next week, and I'll update you on my Seinfeld watching. Appreciate you.
Later, guys.
Awesome stuff from the Hitman, as always. Is it the least surprising thing that guy was a troublemaker as a kid? Like, that is the most. I nailed that from like a mile away. It was pretty obvious there.
Yeah, believable.
But very believable. Anyways, appreciate you guys joining the show. I think we had an absolute banger. Shout out to Ryan, first appearance on the show. Absolute banger. Jeff's going to be coming on tomorrow. I want everyone in the chat to be like, where's Ryan? Get Jeff off. We want Ryan instead. Because, yeah, we'll be talking some more farmer stuff there with him. Maybe get some opinions on the Bill Belichick situation. I want Jeff to feel shame for ditching today. Anyways, appreciate you guys joining the show. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Quick reminder, if you haven't already, the first time asking you on the show, do us a favor, smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, go right beside that like button. It's just like to the right, or maybe it's to the left. Hit the subscribe button. Does a lot for us. If you're not subscribed, you might want to be subscribed. We're live every day, Monday to Friday, noon to 1-ish Eastern. Sometimes we go over an hour. Sometimes I like the app. Yeah. If you've done both those things, you're like, what else can I do to help? Stick around for the end of the show. Refresh the page when the show ends. Drop a comment in the comment section down below. I see the comments in the live chat. That helps a lot, but comments down below also help as well. And you can also share it with a friend. You can do one of two things. Appreciate you guys supporting the show. We see the support every single day. We're growing as much as we can. We can't be growing without you guys. You guys help with the growth. And yeah, appreciate it. That wraps up the show for today. This has been the Wednesday, January 28th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.